So anyway, well, I ended up moving back home. And when you're a baby Christian and this is like you're finally walking into Christ or whatever, to not constantly be surrounded by that makes the walk so much harder, like so much difficult. So I know that my family didn't have ill intentions, or they didn't really realize what they were doing while I was back home, you know, for that short period of time. But you know, it was like every single day I had to be reminded, she pregnant, he over there, like, because they would post everything on Facebook. So I'm finding out all this information. Even though I had blocked myself off from the information, it was constantly being thrown in my face. And I know my family didn't intend for that, but they just kept the drama like going. So he had finally decided he wanted to make our family work, that we were going to do this thing. And I ended up moving back to his parents' house, but I guess with him there, things kind of shifted. So it went from me like really growing closer to Christ, or actually like developing a walk period, to now you have him to mix. And I didn't realize how toxic he was by himself, like on his own. So like in order for things to work, like it gotta be kind of both parties, and it really wasn't working. So needless to say, clearly I'm divorced. It didn't work out. I stayed up until the point I had my daughter. So I moved back to K.I.L.E.D at his mom's house. I had my daughter, and I didn't want to leave, because it's like, although we said we was trying to work things out, you ain't trying that hard. Like, you're not trying that hard, it ain't working. So I ended up moving back home after Bailey was born. And after his like maternity leave or whatever he had was up, or his leave was up, he went back to K.I.L.E.D and I didn't go back. Because to me, it was like, okay, things aren't really getting better. What am I trying to force? And this is not working. So for me so that's basically how my walk started. My walk started because of all the sorrow and pain that I had endured, you know, in that situation. Like, I'm married, I'm pregnant, and I find out you're cheating again and more, and now you got somebody pregnant. So now I'm back home, we've separated, and I'm very determined to like leave the marriage. But at the same time, I've given up my walk. Like, I stopped. So I stopped reading my Bible, I stopped going to church, I just stopped. Like, I grew into backtracked into depression back again. And this time I have a newborn baby, and I'm a single mom, and I'm just doing everything by myself, and of course other things. So there was a long period of time from like when my walk started and when I actually started taking it seriously and not being lukewarm. So I'm sorry this video is very long, but my testimony is a long story. So it wasn't until I moved into this apartment 3 years ago that I actually wanted to start going back to church, wanted to start getting back into the word. And I didn't want to be this depressed person anymore. I didn't want to be sad. I didn't want to like feel like drinking and smoking would make me feel better, like, because there's a lot of stressors would come with, not only am I living on my own, everything is in my name, everything's my responsibility, and I have no one to turn to. So I would try to go to church. I went to, you know, the church that I was a part of, that still kind of am a part of. I would go there some Sundays, not all the time, but I was trying. I was like, okay, I don't really know how to do this. And then I would go and I would feel so depressed because in my head, I saw happy little families. In my head. Like, that was the enemy attacking me. Like, I felt like I saw husbands and wives and kids and families like everywhere I looked, and all eyes were on me. People were staring at me, judging me. Y'all, this was just the enemy trying to attack me and make me not want to go to church. I'm sorry, I talk with my hands. And that was just the enemy trying to like distract me. And so I fell back again. And with me falling back again, I found myself in another toxic situation, relationship. So if you've been following me for a while, you already kind of know the story behind my last relationship. I met a guy. We actually worked at the same job at the time. And me not having God and not being mature and having really a whole lot of self-confidence at the time, I felt victimized by this man who showed interest in me. Let's not get twisted. There were other men that showed interest in me, but this one, you know, like, you gotta think I'm kind of alone at this time period. My parents have moved to Florida. I'm not talking to my ex-husband. Yes, we're divorced. I haven't spoken to him in almost a year. This is all this nonsense, right? And so I let this person in, and I was vulnerable with this person, not because I feel like I really genuinely cared about this person, but because I was hurt and I was in pain, and I felt like I needed a savior. Instead of realizing, Taryn, you already accepted Jesus Christ as your savior, why are you looking at a person, right? But I did it anyway. I looked to him to like fill up this void in my life that I was dealing with and lean on him. And that was the biggest mistake I could have ever done, because this person was toxic. Like, I had the desire to get to know God. I had the want to get to know God and, you know, have a family and have more kids and, you know, have the desires of my heart. But I was dealing with somebody who wasn't on that same, you know, path, and it didn't make any sense. Like, I just thought, oh, I can make him change. I can get him to start going to church. Like, I can get him all these things, to do all these things, and I just let my flesh take over my life. And for that, it's true what the Bible says, that I'm sorry y'all, but it's very true that unless you are living to be with Jesus, like live your life with Jesus Christ, you're going the other way, which is death. It's so true, because me and this individual had an extremely toxic relationship. He was, I feel like, more insecure than I was, because if he felt any type of way about anything, and sometimes it didn't even have anything to do with me, he would take it out on me. He would call me names. He would, any name you could think of besides the daughter of God, he would call me. He would put his hands on me, and it was sad. It was so sad, and I couldn't really see it for what it was, because I had like basically gotten so far away from God, and I just wanted somebody. I just did not want to be alone. And what that led was to literally me almost dying twice. And I wouldn't say I regret anything, because that's how I got here. If all these events hadn't taken place, I wouldn't be here. And this is where I want to be, where I'm sitting right now. As of September 24th, 2020, this is where I want to be, and this is where I'm happy. But so yeah, he was very abusive, manipulative. He also would cheat. And guys, I wouldn't say this, but sometimes as women, we settle. We're like, okay, the less attractive man is gonna treat me better, because he ain't even that cute, and he should know he not that cute. So me being with him, I'm just really doing him a service, because I know I'm cute, so therefore he should have some act right. Wrong. Completely wrong, because you have people who are insecure, and for that insecurity, especially in men, they feel the need that the more women they have, the more they cheat, they'll be happy. It's false, but you know. So anyway, Mother's Day 2018, that was one of the incidents, but that was the one that really came to mind because, you know, and I don't want to make this video about like exes, but I'm trying to really get y'all to understand like how I'm here. So Mother's Day. Mind you guys, one, I had never celebrated Mother's Day before because Bailey at the time was 2. Yeah, at that time she was 2. Maybe it was 2017. No, it had to be 2018. Yeah, at the time she was 2. And I've never celebrated before. No one had ever bought me anything for Mother's Day. And he went all out. He got me a card, he got me flowers, he made breakfast, like went all out. And I was just like so happy. Like, but mind you, he also was verbally, mentally, and physically abusive prior to that time. So in my mind, like, oh, that's sweet. But so an incident occurred to the point where he almost killed me. I try not to think about it, but this man literally had me in the air with one hand as I'm choking, like trying to hold on so he doesn't kill me while my child's in the house asleep. Ended up calling the police, and you could see where he was strangling me. Like, I had the marks on my neck. I ended up calling the police. They called CPS, and I filed an incident report. Of course, he wasn't here, so whatever. He didn't get arrested, but yeah, it was pretty bad. It was really bad. And then I took him back like a dummy, like a straight fool. He apologized, made it seem like something it wasn't, and me being so dumb, I'm just be quite frank, so dumb, so in my flesh, like, okay, well, maybe we can make this work. Like, it doesn't have to be like this. If someone hits you once, they'll hit you again, and you probably ain't the first person they hit. I'm just gonna be very honest with you. Months go by and there's still mentally, physically, emotional abuse throughout the whole time. October 2018, Bailey turned 3. And so this was the final incident that just, I was like, I can't do it no more. So we weren't really together at this point. I kind of wasn't talking to him anymore. I kind of just wanted him like to leave me alone because he wasn't gonna do right, and my patience was like shot. Like, I was just done. I didn't want to be bothered by him. But of course, when the enemy sees that you're trying to get your ish together, he will keep sending and sending and sending. So I gave this individual the last straw. I wasn't posting him because I was like, I'm gonna just see how this work, but I ain't really want to be bothered with him, to be quite honest. I just really didn't. But I have that problem. I don't have it anymore, but when men try to like, oh, I want to be with you, I would just like, I'd be like, okay, and like, no. Now I have the discernment and can see if you have fruit or not, and if I want to be bothered with you or not. And if I don't want to be bothered with you, I just want to be bothered with you, because I just won't, right? So anyway, I remember, so October 22nd, 2018, I remember it because it was Bailey's dad's birthday, and they had FaceTime for the first time, I want to say he hadn't talked to Bailey because I was like, nope, I don't like you, I'm mad, we're not talking. So, yeah, they had talked and they were on the phone, and you know, the dude was extremely upset about it. He was very upset. He was like, why are you letting her talk to him? Like, cause that's her dad, like, that's why, like. And so this is when I really, really wanted things to change around. So y'all, I would pray that God changed this dude that I was talking to, that it would work and we'd be a family. And while I was praying for that, God was changing me. Like, you don't want that. You don't want to be with him. You just, no. So he started like doing things within inside of me that made me start to forgive Bailey's dad and everything. And I had to go on this quest to like apologizing to people for not like be like, oh well, you did this, but I'm sorry for my part. No, like me accepting what happened and me apologizing for the role I played, because it could have played out very different than that. Like, everybody plays a role in a situation. So I was going through that, and mind you, I'm like distancing myself from this individual, but it wasn't until like October that he was just like very adamant or whatever, trying to win me back. So yeah, me and Bailey's dad had started talking, not like that, but like just Bailey needs to get to know her family and her siblings and all that. So yeah, he didn't like that. Dude did not like that I was basically trying to better myself. He didn't like the fact that I was enrolling in college. If you go back to a very old vlog, y'all, I'm wearing a wristband thing, and I think I had on sunglasses. And I'm wearing the sunglasses because I'm like lying in the video, and I'm trying to like, I don't know, like, but I'm lying and I'm trying to hide. So I was wearing sunglasses to like hide, and I didn't want nobody to see how much pain I was in. And I'm wearing, you know, the wrist thing because it was bruised. My whole wrist was bruised and my hand damn near couldn't move, y'all. Like I said, physically, emotionally, mentally abusive. And October 22nd, 2018, I had finally got to the point where I was like, I don't want this anymore. I don't want this. Like, I don't want you here in my presence. I don't want this. Like I said, he was very upset. Bailey was talking to her dad. And that night, he, again, tried to kill me. And I don't really want to get into details, but I remember, and of course I remember this, he was on top of me and he was choking me. And mind you, he was a bigger dude, like probably 5'10", 5'11", like 210 or something. Big dude. And he's on top of me, choking me. I have asthma. And so I remember I'm praying in my head and I'm like, Lord, if you let me live, I will walk accordingly. I will change. I will live for you. Just let me live. Let me get out of here. And let me live, Jesus, please. And so in the midst of everything happening, it got to a point where I started praying out loud. And he just stopped. He went from trying to make sure I didn't take another breath to stopping. And he just left. Like, he didn't leave the premises, but he left the room me and Bailey ended up being in after everything. He just stopped. And I had enough time to get out of the apartment. He stayed around for the police to come. They arrested him. And that's what saved me. God saved me. He changed my whole life around for the absolute better. And so that's why I'm so adamant about Christ and people really living for him. Because if you're not living for him, what are you living for? What like, he gives hope. Jeremiah 29:11, he has plans to prosper you, to give you hope in a future. But if we not dwelling with him and we ain't kicking it with him, who you kicking it with and for? Who are you kicking it with and kicking it for if it ain't for him? So, y'all, this is my testimony. This is everything I definitely didn't plan on telling y'all. But I hope this really ministered to someone in some type of way to know that it might feel like the end, but baby, it's the beginning. And in the middle, it might feel like you ain't getting nowhere, but you about to get somewhere. Go to Jesus Christ. He got the plan. He just want to share with you the plan, but you got to be receptive to it. I really hope this blessed somebody in some type of way, shape, form, fashion. You guys just stay blessed, okay? Stay blessed, stay encouraged, and stay in the word.